Okay, welcome back everybody to part 12 of my DVD bin or tote dive. And I really appreciate the comments and views and thumbs up that everybody's been giving during this series. I really appreciate it. It's been fun going back through and going through some of these DVDs that I haven't seen in a while. And hopefully I'm giving you guys some ideas. And I'm with the ladies again today. It's about 5:30 p.m. It's dark already. We just had a little bit of a thunderstorm roll through, so it was raining pretty hard. Good time to make a video indoors. So let's get into it here. Get yourself comfortable and relaxed, and we'll check out these DVDs. So the first one here, it's not a horror movie. It's more of a adventure movie, sword and sandal sorcery movie, but this is one of my favorites going back to my childhood. This is Dragon Slayer, the widescreen collection put up by Paramount. It's a really good cover. I wanted to include it in this collection video. Really enjoy the characters in the movie. I thought the dragon looked really great. The special effects were really good. This is actually an excellent addition. It does have a Blu-ray and a 4K upgrade, which I do have, but this DVD was no slouch. It was presented in widescreen, Dolby Digital 5.1 surround, English subtitles. It was really good. Picture quality was excellent. Movie came out in 1981. Peter MacNicol was the young apprentice who became the hero. Really good characters. That is Dragon Slayer. The next one, I was really surprised that I found this at a Dollar Tree. I do have the Blu-ray DVD combo. This is called The Unkindness of Ravens. And this is a movie by Scottish filmmaker Laurie Brewster, and he's a great guy. I've backed several of his projects over the years, and I will continue to do so. I think his movies are brilliant. And this movie came out in 2009 from his company. Is called Hex Media. That's the company he owns and operates. And then this was put out by Echo Bridge in 2019, 2020, looks like. So there is Laurie Brewster's name, and he does a lot of work with Sarah Daly. They collab a lot together. I believe that they are a couple, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And if you guys haven't seen The Unkindness of Ravens, do check it out. It's really good. I was shocked to find that in a Dollar Tree. He also released a digipack where you get the Blu-ray and you get a nice thick booklet. I'll probably show that in a different video. I've shown it before on the channel here. Next one is another one of these. This isn't even really a B movie. It's more like a C movie, Silent Night, Zombie Night. I pulled this out because I've started to pull out my Christmas horror themed movies, and this is going to be one of those. I'm thinking of maybe doing a little series in December. Each day talk about a different movie that's a holiday Christmas themed horror movie, and this one does take place during the Christmas season. Movie came out in 2011. You can watch it in English language with Spanish subtitles. There's a little bit of bonus features. And come on, there's some ridiculous praise here. It says director Kane has out-Romero'd George Romero. Let's not get ridiculous here, guys. This tops Zombieland. No, I don't think so. But I will talk more about that in December. I'll give you guys I'm thinking about doing that. I don't know for sure. If you guys would like to see me do reviews of Christmas-themed horror movies during December, let me know. Leave a comment below. The next one is a Blockbuster exclusive of Black Christmas. This was the remake, and this is the unrated edition. I thought this was really nice to kind of have a little memento of days gone, no more Blockbuster. And I think it's pretty cool to have a Blockbuster exclusive in the collection. This will be another one of the movies. So I pulled this one out. This is the remake of Black Christmas from 2006. And it was not quite as good as the original, but I still enjoyed this one. And I'll probably review the original and this one during the December Christmas season. Okay, so this next little stack here, these are... Okay, so this one is a shot-on-video independent film called Things. This was put up by Intervision, and it says it's in a class all by itself, consistently astounding as it unfolds in all its bizarre glory, and still unlike anything most viewers have ever seen. This is full frame unrated. Now this movie I believe came out in the 80s. Let's see here. 1989. And it looks like it was released on DVD in 2011. And this has Amber Lynn, who was a former pornographic actress. You can see here that there's a little bit of dust on there. You can see some of the low buck operations going on here. It says in 1989 it became the first Canadian shot-on Super 8 gore shocker commercially released on VHS. Today it remains perhaps the most bizarre, depraved, and mind-boggling chunk of Kenexploitation ever unleashed upon humanity. Adult film superstar Amber Lynn and co-writer, producer Barry J. Gillis star in this surreal saga about two friends who visit a remote cabin only to discover a womb of monstrous horror that demands graphic dismemberment. It's an inexplicable orgy of eye-ripping, beer-guzzling, boob-bearing, skull-drilling, sandwich-making, chain-sawing, bad acting, and post-sync dubbing from co-producer director Andrew Jordan that has spawned its own disturbing cult of fans. Some will be repulsed, others may be transformed forever, but you have never seen anything like Things. So I guess you got to kind of know what you're getting into with these shot-on-video movies. Just what it said, there's a lot of bad acting, a lot of bad set pieces, because a lot of these movies didn't have a budget at all, and there's a charm to these movies, though. I enjoy these. So that's Things. I'll be curious to hear if you guys have ever seen that one. Okay, so this next little stack here is a franchise, another low-budget kind of shot-on-video. I really happen to like these movies a lot. And this is the Camp Blood series franchise. This is part of the 3D horror collection. You can watch it in 3D or 2D, which I'm not really the biggest fan of 3D movies. I just don't really like the glasses, and the effects are not that great to me. I didn't really ever get into it. I remember as a kid, the first horror movie I ever saw was Creature from the Black Lagoon. And this was in the 80s, the early 80s, and our local newspaper, I told this story on this channel a few times now. Our local newspaper was giving out 2 sets of 3D glasses because they were showing Creature from the Black Lagoon in 3D on the local television channel here in Wisconsin. And for a little bit, I liked it, but then I just don't care much for the red and blue glasses. I mean, it's definitely gimmicky, and it kind of goes back to the 80s. You know, it's definitely part of that history, but I just never really got into it. I did watch Friday the 13th Part 3 at the movie theater. I watched the whole movie in 3D. That was okay, but anyway, these movies are pretty good, and it's a slasher series about a killer clown. And you know, these movies are not great by any stretch, but you know, it's bad acting, low budget. There's nudity and gory kills, but you know, this is a David Sterling production. David Sterling. So many of you may know who David Sterling is, and he's a very low budget producer. But I enjoy this series. So this is Camp Blood Part 1. That cover is pretty cool. And then the next one here is Camp Blood 2, which I thought was just as good as Part 1. But they start to get a little bit worse as the franchise goes on. But they're still fun. Let's see if I can find out. This one came out in 2002. The first one also came out in 2002, but I feel like it might have been, it feels like it was earlier than that, but according to this on the back, it came out in 2002. Viewer discretion is advised. Material contains violence, gore, nudity, and adult situations. It sure does. So this one again is 2002. These were also released on Blu-ray, which I do have the Blu-ray box set, but I'm just showing you guys the DVD collection that I had way before the Blu-ray came out. This is Part 3, called Within the Woods. She was halfway decent. She was a pretty good, I mean, all of them were decent. They were halfway decent, but I think she was probably the best of the bunch. So this one came out in 2004. The Legendary Clown is Back. Directed by Brad Sykes. And then Part 4, Killer Clown is Back. So now they went back to the Camp Blood title. So this one is officially Part 3, but it's called Within the Woods. The first 2 were called Camp Blood. Now they're going back to Camp Blood 4. She was pretty nice to look at. So you can see that the special effects got a little bit better. Contains nudity, strong language, and extreme violence. This one was directed by Dustin Ferguson. This one came out in 2016. There's a couple different years there. I'm going to go with 2016. The movie came out, and then I believe it was released on DVD in 2017. Camp Blood 4. Camp Blood 5. Haunted by the Killer Clown. Okay, there's a photo I can't show. So this one came out in 2017. This one was also directed by Dustin Ferguson. And there's a photo I can't show you, but I can maybe show you the top two. I know we've all seen this stuff before, but I just want to follow the guidelines set here by YouTube. This one also has nudity, strong language, and extreme violence. I put these all in a white case too. I think it looks pretty good. They came in regular black cases, but I switched them all out to these white cases. And the last one for the series, I don't know if they came out with more since then, but this is part 6, and they're calling it Camp Blood 666. I'm really fond of the actor George Stover. He's in this movie. I think he's a great actor. He's been in some other horror movies over the years. Attack of the Killer Clown Cult. And they had very, very good placement there for that little splash across the page, because it covers up that young lady's jiggly bits. And this one looks like we can show on the back. It's pretty violent kills. If you guys like shot on video and you like these nudity, strong language, gory kills, you'll like these. This one was directed by Ted Moring, and it came out in 2017. A masked clown stalks the woods. So that was my Killer Clown Camp Blood franchise. So I'm going to pause it here, put some stuff back, and we will continue. The next one here is more of a sci-fi. I guess there's some horror undertones in the movie, and this is kind of a take on the Planet of the Apes series. This is called Empire of the Apes, and this is a really low budget release here. It since has a Blu-ray release. This was also a David Sterling production, and they're calling it Beyond the Planet of the Apes. It's definitely a ripoff, a very low budget ripoff. And I have upgraded this. It's really not very good. It has music by Ghost. This was written and directed by Mark Polonia. Had special effects by Anthony Polonia. And it's a shot on video movie, low budget. It is what it is. It's still fun. I don't know what that signature is there. So I bought this from David Sterling directly, and that was probably 10 years ago or more. And it looks like he signed it there. I didn't ask him to, and I don't know. It is what it is. I guess this is a Blu-ray. It's number 6 of 50. It's in a DVD case, but I have since upgraded it to a better Blu-ray edition. I still don't know who signed that. Let's see if we can make sense of that here on the back. I can't even really make that out. Herman's? It would have been nice to have Mark Polonia sign it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that even really looks remotely close to that name. But I'll just read a little bit about the movie to you guys. It says, in a distant galaxy and a burnt-out world, 3 escaped female convicts crash land on a primitive world inhabited by a race of warlike apes. A daring escape is their only way out. Hot on their heels are the bloodlusting gorillas and a prison warden bent on their return to the prison ship they escaped from. Who will survive on a planet where apes rule and humans are only a breeding stock? Speaking of Planet of the Apes, there's a new Planet of the Apes movie coming out. Maybe out now. I saw the the trailer for it a couple days ago here on YouTube, and it looks amazing. It looks really, really good. Then again, I like all those movies. I thought they're great. Even the Mark Wahlberg one was really good, in my opinion. So that's Empire of the Apes. Let's see here. So let's let's continue with, I also pulled out a stack of British DVDs from the company called 88 Films, which I'll get into those today. If I have enough time, I'll also get into some of the Shameless Entertainment DVDs. If I don't have time today, I'll definitely do that in the next video, and I'll show you some of my Arrow Video DVDs. I think maybe I will keep those for a future video. I just don't know if I'll have enough time, because I do want to show these 3 stacks of goodies here in this video. And I try to keep it like between 50 and 55 minutes or so. The next movie was one that I was very pleasantly surprised when I watched this for the first time years ago. This is the unrated director's cut of Laid to Rest. And this is a great slasher movie, and that kind of brings me to the DVDs or the Blu-rays that I had in my bed that I told you guys I was going to show you. I'll show you those in a minute. But this is kind of an underrated, untalked about movie. It's a gory slasher movie, a really cool killer with a cool mask and a cool story behind it. This one was put out by Anchor Bay. I don't think Part 2 ever had an official DVD release here in the States. I think it does have a German release. As a matter of fact, I think that's where I got the Blu-ray from Germany. But there's Chrome Skull right there. That's the name of the killer in these movies, Chrome Skull. If you haven't seen these, I'm sure many of you have, but if you haven't, do check these out. These are really, really good. So this movie is presented in anamorphic widescreen. It's the unrated version. You can watch it in English with subtitles. The movie came out in 2009. And that's going to bring me to the, let's see, I'll move some stuff here a little bit. It's going to bring me to the Blu-rays, and I'm suggesting that you guys do watch the movies. You can get these on Blu-ray though. And the first one here is a US release. This is called the Unrated Extreme Edition. This is the one you need to get. And this was put out, oh no, this is region B. This is the German edition. I don't know if they have an official US release, but these are I believe these are both the German releases. This one for sure is. And it looks amazing. It looks really good. It's unrated, uncut. There's a making of called Torture Porn. There's a killer tough chick in the movie, which is always fun to watch. So if you guys can track this edition down, it's the German release. It's in English language. It's on a BD25 Blue Disc Blu-ray. It looks really good. If you guys can get this edition called the Unrated Extreme Edition, get that one. And then the sequel, which I thought was pretty good too, is the Unrated Director's Cut, Chrome Skull Laid to Rest 2. And it looks like this one is Region A. So this was put out by Image Entertainment. And the movie came out in 2011. It has Brian Austin Green, but don't let that dissuade you from watching it. It's actually pretty good. There's an appearance by Danielle Harris. Everybody loves Danielle Harris. And I don't know if they ever released a part 3. If anybody knows, I mean, I could easily Google it and look, but I'm trying to kind of create a little bit of comments in the comment section. So I talked to a guy one time who has over 500,000 subscribers on his channel. He does very well. He actually makes a living. That's his job. Him and his wife own a channel. I'm not going to say his name. I talked to him one time, and he told me that, I mean, he gets tens of thousands of views per video. He's kind of he's a travel channel guy. He does like a lot of Disney stuff. And he said every once in a while he purposely will make a mistake in his videos, so people correct him in the comment section, because he said people are more likely to correct you than to compliment you. And I found that to be true too, even though, I mean, my comments are not very many. And the commenters that I do get on a regular basis are usually very supportive, and I do appreciate that. And there's usually a very similar, familiar group of names that I see that comment the most. But for him, he said that he'll purposely make a mistake, and then he'll get a flood of comments, which actually helps his channel because he's already very popular, and the more comments he gets, it just, it makes his videos that much more popular. But it's just funny how people are. They're more willing to correct you and to make you feel stupid than they are to compliment you and lift you up and support you, I guess. So anyway, I'm rambling, but do get these movies and check them out. And then here's the DVD. If you can't find the Blu-ray, get the DVD, but definitely do get the German edition. All right, so that part of the video is over. The next one, this is kind of a cult classic, starring the great Bruce Campbell. Everybody loves Bruce Campbell. This is The Man with the Screaming Brain. It's a horror comedy, very heavy on the comedy, very light on the horror, but this is a good, fun movie. And the movie came out in 2004. There you can see Bruce. It says it's a terrifying tale of foreign intrigue, forbidden love, and brain transplants gone horribly wrong. From writer, producer, director, and star Bruce Campbell. So he was wearing many hats in this movie, and you get a nice chunk of bonus features here. Ted Raimi is also in the movie. Ted Raimi right there on the right with the baseball cap. Those guys were best friends growing up in Michigan, and they became very successful together. Stacy Keach is also in here. Pretty fun movie. So there you got the disc, and you got the insert with the chapter stops on the reverse. Man with the Screaming Brain. The next one here is a special edition lenticular of John Carpenter's Halloween 1978. I love lenticular covers. I think they're amazing. So there you get the shape, and then you get the iconic pumpkin and blade. This is just a collector's piece. I will never open this up because I have this movie and I have the franchise a couple different times. I don't need to open this. It's just a collector's piece. But I love that lenticular. I can sit and do this all night. This is another Anchor Bay edition. In case you're wondering, you can go try to find it if you want to add this to your collection as well. The next one, this is also not technically a horror movie, but it's a terrifying movie. It does have a lot of horrific elements to it. This is based on a true story, and Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas play excellent roles in this movie. So the movie's called The Ghost and the Darkness, and like I said, it's based on a true story of the 1800s. They were laying railroad track across a portion of Africa, and I'll read the synopsis in a second, but I'll tell you my take on it first. So the Ghost and the Darkness were two lions that were part of the same litter. So they were brothers from the litter, and they learned to hunt together, and they were silent killers, and they were picking off these railroad workers one by one and eating them. They would hunt them, and they would make no noise whatsoever. They would strike, kill, and eat, pull the prey away and eat. And these two brothers would hunt together. So the railroad company hired Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas as kind of like bodyguards or assassins to try to kill these lions. I'm not going to give it away what happens, but this is based on a true story. There's some really good bonus features here. Plus, there's also a segment I think I watched here on YouTube about the actual events, and I'm not going to say anymore because I'll ruin it for you. But the movie came out in 1996. This is horribly underrated. It's an excellent movie. I never hear anybody talk about this. If you take anything away from this video today, watch this movie. So I'm going to read their synopsis now. It says, by the way, I don't know if this has a Blu-ray release, but this DVD is excellent. It's widescreen, Dolby Digital surround sound. You can watch it with English, French, or Spanish subtitles. It has interactive menu, and there's the trailers and stuff. So Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer star in this tense, terrific, and true adventure set in 1896 East Africa. There, two lions on a man-eating rampage, and the way that they film these lions, the lion scenes, it's definitely like a horror movie, and it will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's creepy as hell. Watch it at night in the dark. So these two man-eating lions go on a rampage. They have shut down the construction of the railway. The beasts hunt together, showing no fear of man or fire. What's more, they're killing for sport rather than food, but they do eat too. They have an almost supernatural knack for knowing what traps await them. Big game hunter Remington, played by Michael Douglas, and construction engineer Patterson, played by Val Kilmer, set out to stop these unstoppable monsters. But in this astonishing tale of man against beast, the hunters become hunted. Now you guys have to go check this out. This movie was amazing, and I'm going to rewatch it soon. I don't know if it has a Blu-ray release. I never looked into it, but again, if anybody knows, you can comment. Do check that one out. The next one is called Curse of the Devil. This is another, I feel like I showed this one, but just in case. I may have showed this already. This is a Paul Naschy werewolf movie. And this came out in, was it the, oh, okay, it was early 70s. 1973, this movie came out, starring Paul Naschy. He did a lot of these werewolf movies. It says not only is it one of Naschy's best films, but one of the finest Spanish horror films ever. It is a very good movie. I happen to enjoy the Paul Naschy werewolf movies. Legendary Spanish horror star Paul Naschy returns as Waldemar Daninsky, marked for all eternity with the ancestral curse of the werewolf. I'll leave it at that. Also known as Return of the Walpurgis, the 1973 shocker is filled with lust, a lush atmosphere, copious nudity, and graphic violence, and is widely considered to be one of the goriest and sexiest horror films of Naschy's career. Uncut and uncensored for the first time ever, including 2 never-before-seen sex sequences. So if you haven't seen Curse of the Devil, check that one out too. That looks like, what was that wolf, the wolf's name in The Neverending Story? I know it, I just can't think of it right now. Gmork, I think it is. Is it Gmork? That's what that kind of looks like to me. All right, the next one is another Bruce Campbell B movie, Alien Apocalypse. I got this at an FYE used for $5.99, but it's almost brand new. And I have this on Blu-ray. It says it's the highest rated sci-fi picture of all time, which is not saying much because sci-fi has been known to show a lot of garbage, but this really is a good movie. The Man with the Screaming Brain was also shown on Sci-Fi. Fun little sci-fi alien in a rubber suit. The movie came out in 2005. Anamorphic widescreen. You can get audio commentary with Bruce Campbell and director Josh Becker. Next one is called Day of the Dead 2, Contagium. Pretty disappointing. It's a decent movie. It's okay, but it was nowhere near the original Day of the Dead. But then again, it's not going to be, because the original Dead trilogy, I still consider it the trilogy, because a lot of the ones that came after were not really even in the same ballpark as the original three. So in my opinion, just the way I feel about it, the original trilogy ended with Day of the Dead, which is a masterpiece. And Day of the Dead 2 was never going to be that, but it was okay for what it was. It was entertaining enough. It's still better than most zombie movies I've seen. This is part prequel, part sequel, and a total gut-ripping, gore-spewing homage to the original. This one came out in 2005. The next one is a movie that was based on a video game franchise. I loved the video games. I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. This is called Dead Space Downfall. It comes with a slipcover, kind of a metallic, kind of a foil cover. You can kind of see the foilish. It looks better in person than it does on the phone, but it's just has a ripped off arm kind of floating in space. The game is scary as hell. The movie's really good too. It's a CGI animated movie. And it came out 2008. I was going to say 7, but it was 2008 it came out. Anamorphic widescreen. There's some of the screenshots there. So it is animated. If you guys if you ever get a chance to play Dead Space on, I don't know if it's on all consoles. I know it was on the PlayStation. I think I played it on PlayStation 3 years ago. One of the best and scariest games I've ever played. Excellent. And the movie's pretty good too. The next one here is called The Drownsman. This is kind of a more modern horror movie. That's a great cover. It almost looks like Nancy in the bathtub, kind of. This is a new horror creation worthy of standing alongside the likes of Jason, Michael, and Freddy. I don't know about all that. But still, this was a fun movie. It's a refreshing throwback to 80s slasher films. It is that, too. It does have a feel of an older movie, which I liked. This one came out in 2014, but it definitely does have kind of that 80s throwback feel to it. I have to give this a rewatch at some point too. It's been a while. The next one is called The Dead Next Door, J.R. Bookwalter movie. This was a very good, fun movie. This has a Blu-ray upgrade, which I also own. I think I have one signed by J.R. Bookwalter. This is very well done. It's low budget, but it doesn't look low budget. It's like a Ghetto Fabulous low budget. And the movie came out in 2005. So Tempe Entertainment is J.R. Bookwalter's company. So he wrote, produced, and directed this. I really enjoy his work. Landmark independent zombie shocker, fully restored, packed with extras for the first time ever. If you ever get a chance to watch a J.R. Bookwalter movie, do watch some of his interviews. He's a very interesting guy, very well spoken, very intelligent. He's also very fan friendly too. I'm not really on Facebook very much anymore. I really don't care much for social media, but I was at one time, and I was pretty into it, and I was Facebook friends with him, and I would once in a while send him messages on Facebook Messenger, and he would hit me back, and we would have conversations. He was a really cool, down-to-earth dude. And there's another movie from J.R. Bookwalter. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it with the glare, the shine here from my flash. See that poster right there, Robot Ninja? That is also a J.R. Bookwalter movie. I really recommend that one. It sounds crazy. It is a crazy movie, but it's very fun. It has the feel of a grindhouse movie, and there's an interview on there that's excellent. I thought it was really good with J.R. Bookwalter in it. And I believe if you go to Tempe Entertainment, just Google that. He has his own website. What's the name of his website? Cult something. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll link it below, and you guys can go check out the catalog of movies that he's selling on his website. And I recommend grabbing a handful of them or a bunch of them. Grab as many of them as you can. They're very, very good. So that's The Dead Next Door, and that's my praise, I guess, for J.R. Bookwalter and his movies. He's really good. This next little stack here, these are jewel cases, and these are all the same movie. They're just packaged differently. So these are the original, The Evil Dead movie. These were put out in, let's see, what year was that? 1999 by Anchor Bay. Put them out in these nice jewel cases. And each disc of the 5 had different original artwork on it from the posters that were advertising the movie back in the day. And if you get all 5, on the spine, it spells devil. So the spines are D. How did that work? Let me see here. If you can see there, it has DV10667D. They all have the same number except for the last letter. So it spells DEVIL. That way you know you have all 5 of them. Some of them are a little harder to find. Some of them were pretty common. I don't know what the number produced was, but these are kind of getting harder and harder to find. They've been out now for almost 25 years. I mean, it came out in 1999. It's almost 2024 already. So I'm just going to show you these covers. This is the first one. This is letter D. And then they all had the same back. It's just this image. And again, it's all the same exact movie, the same exact edition. There's nothing different about the movie or the special features. These were all put up by Anchor Bay. It just had different artwork on the disc. So there's E. There's V. There's I. And there's L. So I wanted to add these in with this DVD collection in case you guys are interested in trying to complete this. And there they are again. Let me move some stuff here and just kind of give you a little recap. It was pretty fun to try to track these down. Okay, so we're getting down to the 88 Films stuff now. And 88 Films is a British company from England. I'm sure most of you guys know about them by now. And I have shown these on my channel before several times. But I wanted to include them because I think these are pretty cool. I'm going to kind of rifle through these because I think I'm at about 42 minutes or so, give or take. And I don't want to make this too much longer. Either that or I'll just show a few and then I'll put the rest in another video. Maybe I'll do that instead of rushing through. I want to kind of give them their due, you know. So the first one here is called Beach Babes 2. And these are not in any order because there is a Beach Babes 1 in here. This is called The Primitive Paradise. Beach Babes 2, Cave Girl Island. These all come in red cases. I think that's pretty nice. I like that. I haven't really done much business with 88 Films in a while. Eventually I might go back. There's just been so much other stuff to buy. So many companies and so many great releases and only so much money to go around. I wish I can buy everything from everybody all the time, but unfortunately that's not realistic. So this is kind of a beach babe sexploitation type movie. Includes both the R-rated and unrated versions of the movie. This is a full moon movie put out by 88 Films. The movie came out in 2013, I believe. Either that or it was put out by 88 Films in 2013. Okay, I see. The movie came out in 1996, but the DVD came out in 2013. So the movie's from 96. The next one is called Amazonia. It was also called, I believe, Cannibal Holocaust 2, the Catherine Miles story. It was a pretty fun watch. Okay, there's some scenes on the back that I cannot show. This one came out in 1985. This is an Italian cannibal, kind of cannibal exploitation. I don't know what the word for it is. But, you know, these movies are pretty fun. I have to be in the right frame of mind or the right mood to watch these. This one was also released in 2013. The next one is called Laser Blast. I have this movie a couple different times on DVD. I think I showed one of the releases earlier in this series. So this movie came out in 1978. And it was, the packaging came out in 2013. This was released by 88 Films. In 2013, you can see some of the rubber monsters. That guy right there, I believe that is Dennis Berkeley. You may remember Dennis Berkeley as Cal in the Sanford. There was a spin-off show of Sanford and Son. It was just called Sanford. And Red Fox, Fred Sanford, was roommates with Cal in that show, and that's Dennis Berkeley. I always thought he was a great actor. He's passed away now. Both of those gentlemen are. Red Fox as well. I really loved Red Fox. He was my favorite of all time. Favorite comedian. He was great. Roddy McDowall is also in here. Keenan Wynn. Fun little sci-fi, kind of a drive-in style movie. The next one here is called Mandroid. Man and Machine Are One. About a crippled scientist who turns himself into an android. A mandroid. So the movie came out in 1993. And let me see here. Don't really recognize any of the names in here. It says Dr. Cal Zimmer is a brilliant Romanian scientist who is working on a top secret assignment with his daughter Xana. They are developing a crystal-like element called Supercon that could become the most powerful force on Earth. Dr. Zimmer's partner is the deviant Dr. Drago, whose only concern is the success of the project. The goal of their work is simple. The Supercon is to be inserted into the processing units of the powerful androids that would be directed by human thoughts and actions. If the element were to fall into the wrong hands, it could be the end of the world as we know it. These are the kind of movies that I would really love when I was a kid. They're still fun to watch now. I'm not dogging them at all. They're just more. I think they were geared towards a younger Todd than aged Todd. So here's Beach Babes Part 1. Beach Babes from Beyond. Hot tan alien. Pretty, pretty girls. This movie came out in 1993. And it has Joe Estevez is in here. You got Linnea Quigley is also in here. Don Swayze, Joey Travolta. Burt Ward is in here. Really? Burt Ward. Robin. Let me see. Okay, there's some stuff. I think that's Burt Ward in the yellow shirt. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to be able to get close enough to see that. There are some scenes on the back that I can't really show, and there's no booklet or anything, so Beach Babes, kind of probably something that you would see on Cinemax late at night back in the 80s or 90s. The next one is called Seed People, the Root of All Evil. I would like to get, I don't think they exist, but I would like to get some little figures of these and put them next to my Critters figures. I think that would be pretty awesome. Look at this clown wearing a light on his head. Get that flash off of there. So this movie came out in 1992, and I'm not really recognizing any names. Produced by Charles Band, directed by Peter Manoogian. I'm not familiar with his work. But you get a rubber suit alien. What more do you want? Rubber suit alien invaders at that. Seed People. Next one's called Dr. Alien. Stars the gorgeous Judy Landers. Both of the Landers sisters were gorgeous. They probably still are. But in the 80s, they were just beautiful. Blonde and buxom, curvy, gorgeous. Another rubber suit alien with practical effects. And there's another photo I can't show. Directed by David Duchovny. So it says Judy Landers makes a special appearance. And there's Judy in that scene on the right. I can't go any further to the right because there's a naughty image. And I think I'll show one more, and then the rest I'll save for the next video. This is called Creepazoids. This also has Linnea Quigley. Your flesh will crawl right off your bones. Even if you kill them, they're still deadly. And this one came out in 1987. Oh, look at the size of that rat. Let me get that glare off of there. You get a bonus film from 1983 called Film Gore, starring Linnea Quigley, directed by David Duchovny again. I recognize his name, and he does a lot of good stuff. I just never really knew how to pronounce that. David Duchovny, probably close enough. It says World War III has turned the world into a smoking cinder. The year is 1998. 6 years after the nuclear apocalypse, and the fallout continues to plague survivors with periodic bouts of highly toxic acid rain. A group of army deserters, Bianca, played by Linnea Quigley, and Kate, Butch, Jesse, and Jake, take refuge in a seemingly abandoned laboratory complex. They soon discover that the lab was once a top-secret government research center gone awry. Still lurking in its corridors, a hideous genetically engineered monster emerges, and a mysterious substance transforms one of them into a deadly creature. Now trapped, the 4 survivors must destroy the bloodthirsty beast or die in its dripping jaws. So that makes sense then. That's why this rat is so huge. It was a lab rat in an experiment gone wrong, and then looks like there's a baby who went ballistic, like a mutated baby. Is that a monkey? I don't know if that's a monkey right there in the, oops, sorry about that. Right there on the right, I can't really tell. And then this guy's got stuff going on with his hand. Why is my flash right all up in there like that? All right, I think I will end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave those behind. Miss Heidi just jumped off. Hannah's still here. And thank you for watching. Take care. See you next time.